Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's edition of the Card Doctor. Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of people asking me how I send these cards through the mail. I'd just like to go over how I do it. You may get different answers from different people, but this is how I do it. First, the first thing you need to do is you need to put your name and address at the top left-hand side of an envelope. Now the envelopes I'm using here are the number 10 envelopes, so like a business size envelope. And the recipient's name. In this case, I'm sending a card to Mr. Vito Valentinetti. So I'm super excited to send this off to him, hoping for a great return. The second thing that you need is another envelope. This is the smaller envelope. This is a 6 3/4 security envelope. And this envelope, all you need to put on it is your address in the middle of the envelope. I do not bother putting a return address from the player on the upper left-hand corner of the envelope, because if there's a problem through the mail, I don't want the card to go back to the player, right? They've already done me a huge favor signing the card. I just want it to come straight back to me. So I only put my address right there. I've only had one time where a player added his address at the top left, and other than that, it's been perfectly great. And it adds to the suspense, because I really do, every single time I open these envelopes, I really do have no idea who I'm opening. So that's the next thing you need. Next, note cards. So I use 4 unrolled note cards. That's 4. And also I send a 5th one. This has my my letter on it that I send to the player. So I have a total of 5 note cards. And we'll talk about what the note cards are used for in just a minute. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get that smaller security envelope, that number 6 3/4 envelope. And what you want to do is put all the cards, all 5 cards, inside of the envelope. Now the reason why I use blank unrolled note cards is because sometimes the players will send the cards back to you and they'll autograph them. They'll put some more inscriptions and they'll autograph those cards. So I have a whole separate collection of autographed unrolled note cards that players have sent to me. And the most important thing that we need to put in the envelope is the card. Here's Mr. Valentinetti's card. He's a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. And what I do is I put this card, I sandwich it, so there's 2 cards in the back and 3 up front. So 3 up front, 2 cards in the back. And so I sandwich the cards I sandwich the baseball card right in between the unrolled note cards. And it all goes straight inside just like that. The note cards, they add to the rigidity of the envelope, so when it goes back and forth through the mail, there won't be as much wear on the baseball card. The most important thing that you have to do with this envelope, not only have the cards, all of the cards inside the envelope, is put a stamp on it. So the stamps go right here at the top right-hand side of the envelope. And guys, don't forget, you also have to put a stamp on the larger envelope. The larger envelope, that's the number 10 envelope. That stamp also goes on the top right-hand side. Just like that. And the last thing you do is you put the smaller envelope inside of the larger envelope, just like that. You don't seal it, leave it open. I've made that mistake before, but luckily I caught it before I sent it off to the player. And so it's like you're sending a packet, a small packet inside this larger envelope. Some people will put the baseball card on the outside or in the flap of the smaller envelope. But I prefer to leave it right there inside the smaller envelope because it keeps it from traveling while inside the larger envelope. It only has a small place it needs to go through. Also, one thing I failed to mention is do not put your card inside any type of penny sleeve or top loader. I've heard so many stories where players sign the top loader or the penny sleeve and not the actual card. Guys, that would be an absolute nightmare. Because the card would look great on the case when it's inside the case, but the second it's out of the case, there's no more autograph. So don't forget, guys, do not include any type of case. Do not put your card inside any type of case. Just leave it floating around. And that's why we added those extra note cards, for more rigidity inside the envelope and help make the cards travel well. The most important thing is just to forget about the card. Once it's sealed up, just forget about what's happening to the card, going through the machines and how it's being handled. And you know, that's just part of the fun. When you get the card back, it will be in good shape. I haven't had any cards that have come back in rough shape. They've all come back nice and clean once I've packaged them up like this. Guys, don't forget to seal this envelope before you send it out. And that is how I send cards through the mail to players. I can't wait to get this one back from Mr. Valentinetti. He currently is not is not charging for his autograph. And there are a couple of different places that you could get the autographs from. There's sportscollection.net. And there's also the sports card forum. Both are great resources. I recommended looking at both of those resources to help you get started in the hobby. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments.